Do you actually know where your money is going? Like, do you actually plan and tell it where to go? Or is it just kind of like vibes and let's see what happens? Welcome back to a big series for the month, New Year, Wealthier You, where I'm giving you 20 easy to implement tips in order to change your financial practice and align so that you can live free from money stress. I can't tell you how often I say the word budget or budgeting and people are like, nope, I don't want to do it. I think that in our community, we have this script where like there is a negative or a deficit or scarcity around the word budget. Like it automatically means that like you're broke or you can't afford anything. And it's not actually that. Budgeting is a habit, is a skill where we are telling our money where to go, where we are assigning every dollar that we make a job. We are ensuring that we're in our driver's seat and that our goals are actually being met, are actually being enacted on, as opposed to the passive approach where it's just like, so what happened to it? Oh, I guess I didn't have enough to make that savings transfer. Oh, I guess I didn't have enough to make that debt payment. So when I'm first working with clients, that's always kind of the first step that we take. Let's reframe our mindset around budgeting and see it as an asset. I mean, like I even have friends who have been like, I've actually never had a budget. Like they're high income earners. They don't have much debt. Like they're intuitively pretty good with their finances, but they've never had an active plan. And that piece is the difference between like really accumulating wealth and kind of just staying steady, right? Think about it as the difference between being financially secure and financially free, financially independent. And there's no like right way to budget. It's really what works for you. Like what method will be the best? Are you like a notebook pencil kind of girly? Or are you somebody who's like on their notes app? So maybe you want to use like Rocket Money or Mint. Personally, I end up using like Google Sheets in order for my budget, and then I actually monitor that progress in Rocket Money. Now, obviously some things are fixed, so they're very easy to plan for. Like your rental payment is probably very, very fixed, your car payment, right? But there's also things that are variable, like maybe you traveled this month, but not the following two. Or maybe you're gonna go out to eat a lot more in December, but not necessarily in January, for example. Again, those discretionary kind of variable costs, we want to especially pay attention to so we can put some guide rails on there so that we don't accidentally overspend and risk not having enough to meet our other goal. Now, in terms of like our category breakdown, think about like 50 to 60% of your income being spent on living expenses, on needs, on those things that are really non-negotiable, like you need to have those. And then about 20 to 30% on wants and the things that make life fun, whether that's travel or self-care or eating out, and then 20% on savings. So that's going to include your retirement savings, your capital savings, potentially any debt payment that's above like the minimum. And sometimes what happens is that we see our percentages are kind of off. Like I've had clients who first work with me and they kind of struggle with overspending, so they've got a lot of high consumer debt, aka their debt payments like monthly are pretty high. And so we work kind of tighten up pretty intensely for a few months in order to like make headway in that, and then are able to kind of work our way back to a more sustainable percentage. And a really important piece there is like if there's a couple months where you do have to tighten up a lot in order to make headway on your debt, make sure that there's a clear end date in mind, because it's like the light at the end of the tunnel and you get closer and then you're able to kind of like ease off on that. If there's no light at the end of the tunnel, you're not going to be able to sustain that. And so what will end up happening is you'll like fat out your finances and then just kind of like give up. And finally, make sure that what you're working on in the year, or ideally the quarter, right? Your quarterly goals are central to your budget. So if I were to look at it, could I clearly see, oh, you have a big goal of increasing your savings rate. Oh, you have a big goal of increasing your investment rate. Oh, you have a big goal of paying off debt. If that is centrally represented in your budget, then you're going to feel more excited about it, more enthusiastic, because it's rooted within the goals that you actually have for yourself. For support with creating a budget that'll work for you, please book a consultation. I'd love to work with you.